All still getting there. I can see 1, 2. The G trying to put it around as well. She's putting down better. Think about this.
G'day punters, the NRL season is almost back, and that means our resident NRL expert, Cory France, returns for another big season. Cory, how you going, mate? We haven't heard from you for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. What are we, probably about 3 months on, but no, good to be back. And yeah, pretty excited because I don't know, cricket felt like it went on for ages. So
Yep, definitely over that. I can dead set can't watch that Pakistan test with the horns and everything going on there. So that's a mute job at best. But yeah, let's talk footy. Big season ahead. Obviously, you've done the NRL service for us for the last couple of years. Going to go around again. You've managed to grind out a profit both years. Last year was a massive roller coaster for many. Do you want to sort of talk us through last season and maybe a couple of plans for this season?
yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. A bit of a roller coaster, but yeah, what do we do? About 80 units early on. I think it was round 10 where the sort of the refs brought in the sort of let's send any old mate to the sim bin, and yeah, no, just threw everything out. And I know you can always adjust the rules over the off season and things like that. But when you sort of have situations where it's like round 10, round 12, things like that, it just throws everything into chaos. And so we had to make some sharp changes, and it took a little while to sort of kick in. But we got there in the end, clawed those units back, and yeah, chopped out a small profit in the end. So
yeah, well done. It was looking very dire there for a bit, but I think a fair few punters struggled with the rule changes and yeah, the differences in total points as well. But all right, let's look ahead to season 2022. Cory, I'm keen to hear from you. Is there any teams that finished up low on the ladder last season that you think are going to maybe give it a bit of a shake this year?
yeah, most definitely. So probably in that sort of bottom half, teams that sort of only just missed out and really could have scraped in, probably the likes of Canberra, Cronulla, and I guess even in the longer stages, don't obviously hold me to this, but obviously the Broncos are a slight sniff there if they can actually get something out of Reynolds and Capel and those guys. But even the Dragons, I think for the future, maybe not this year, but probably in years to come, they've got some nice young talent coming through. So.
All right, yeah, and the flip side of that, the teams that went good and you think might be in a little bit of danger this season.
Yeah, probably the one big one being the Knights. I don't like their halves combo one bit. They've lost obviously Pearce overseas, and unless like the likes of Ponga has an absolute blinder, stays injury free, things like that, they're in a bit of trouble. Probably the one, I guess, the Rabbitohs obviously making the grand final, but yeah, new coach, no Adam Reynolds anymore. It's going to sort of relying on some of the young talent and Latrell Mitchell to stay judiciary free to, I guess, sort of stay in there. They probably should still make the top 8, but yeah, top 4 is probably a big ask. So.
Okay, interesting. And the new rules this season, so they'll be penalising you if there's a ruck infringement inside the attacking side's 40. I know that sort of sped the games up a fair bit last season, and we probably saw a different total points as a result of that. How do you think that's going to happen this season?
Yeah, so the likes of Melbourne and Penrith and teams like those, real good sides, they were sort of basically just giving away easy 6 agains, like on the first tackle and things like that. That just had no bearing on the game, but are allowing their defence to obviously get set. So that's a pretty good rule to bring in. It'll just basically allow teams to get 30 metres down the field and set up for a nice attacking play. The problem is, I guess, those good sides will probably be switched on to it. Bellamy's a good coach and likewise. So they just won't do it as much. And the game, I feel like in terms of how we see it from a betting perspective, probably not much different at all. Probably you're going to see some games still go over and under, but I wouldn't be able to put it down to that particular rule itself. So.
All right, yeah. Well, that's a bit of an early look at the season from your perspective, Cory. Probably best we give the guys a bit of info about the service this season. You're keeping the powder dry for round 1. I think you've mentioned there's not any bets. Have you got any standouts in round 1 though you want to share with anyone?
Yeah, well, sort of round 1, I just want to, I guess, do a proper deep dive in terms of each team. There's sort of one thing that I've picked up straight away, and it's the sort of squads. Obviously, teams are allowed to name, I think it's a 24-person squad on Tuesday, which allows for 7 reserves that may or may not even play. So
yeah.
whether the coach is playing funny games, things like that, it's hard to have an opinion straight away this early on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
However, you never know. There still might be some bets depending come Thursday, Friday, things like that. But yeah, I guess this time of year, you definitely want to just tread a bit carefully. It's you just like it's hard to read into preseason sort of stuff. Like we saw Penrith get thumped 36-0. What do we make of that? Who knows? So, but yeah, I guess time will tell. I guess later in the week. But for now, sort of want to just keep everything a bit quiet.
For sure. All right. Well, yeah, we'll sit on the hands this round. That sounds pretty clever. It feels like when John and the boys go to the races, they usually sit out the first race and watch and see how the track's playing. So they're much similar there. But yeah, as far as the service goes, we'll be delivering all the tips via our Discord. We've opened that up to existing subscribers over the last week. It's been great. We got the chat there as well. So we'll have a private NRL room for any existing tip sheet or platinum subscribers. And there'll also be an option to buy a week or just a round access to the NRL set from Cory. So more info coming on that next round. But yeah, naturally, not many bets this week. So we're just going to sort of blow out the cobwebs, have a look and have a see. Cory, what's the sheet going to look like this season? What kind of info are you going to provide on there for the punters at home?
Yeah, well, hopefully, I know a little bit of room down the grapevine as the NRL sort of opened up a bit of props betting and things like that. Obviously, we saw some towards the end of last year and that's definitely the grouse stuff. That's where the money's to be made. So hopefully some of the subscribers can get on some of that sort of stuff. It just comes down to whether the bookie's going to open these markets up or not. But yeah, in terms of I guess week-to-week plays and that, probably don't dabble too much in terms of try scorers and things like that. But if something does find to be a big overlay, I'll definitely chime in. But yeah, generally the week-to-week stuff that you can find on most bookies, the punters will be able to get involved in.
Absolutely. And what days are you going to hit send early in the week, or are you going to send plays throughout the round as there's changes to lineups? What's the plan, or have you got one yet?
Yeah, no, well, I guess with the beauty of the Discord is you can give that sort of info to everyone on the spot. So, no, it's definitely a good little handy thing to have. So, no, I'll definitely try and release anything out that I believe is going to move. But in terms of a general weekly preview, probably send it out generally on a Thursday morning. Might be a little bit early, might be a little bit late, depending on time.
All right. And yes, and you and me, they're going to see a lot more of our faces throughout the round. We'll be doing a review video on a Tuesday/Wednesday. And yeah, I guess you're just going to pick apart some of the games from the weekend, see what you saw. And yeah.
Definitely, mate. It's it's probably a bit of a different concept to what we've done in the last 2 years, but it's definitely the way to go, I think, in terms of us giving probably the best possible content other than what everyone's used to seeing on a weekly sort of speak about this and that. So
absolutely, yeah. The preview shows can get a little bit boring. It's no fun, but the review's good. And then naturally we'll keep the plays in the Discord. But Cory, good to hear from you. Good to see you, mate. And we'll be hearing more from you this season.
My pleasure, mate. Always good to see your lovely mug. So
take care. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks,
see
Cory.
you, mate. Catch up.